The first time anyone saw her in the hangar, she looked like just another new pilot, quiet and unassuming, blending in with the seasoned team of F-22 pilots. Nobody expected anything remarkable. She carried herself with calm confidence, but there was an edge to her ESA spark that made some of the older pilots curious, though none could have predicted what was about to unfold. It was supposed to be a routine training flight, just another day in the sky. The F-22s took off, engines roaring, cutting through the clouds in perfect formation. The new girl followed the instructions carefully, her voice steady over the radio. But then, something went wrong. The plane shuddered violently, systems flickering, alarms screaming. Panic is contagious in the air, but she didn't falter. As her aircraft began to fail, the other pilots braced themselves for the worst. That's when it happened, the moment that made every seasoned pilot sit up straight in shock. Over the radio came her call sign, a name that immediately turned the entire squadron silent, a name that carried weight far beyond her experience level. The voice behind it was calm, almost casual, but the story it told in those 3 words left everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about this new girl. No one knew how she would handle the crisis, or if she could survive what was coming. The sky was about to test her in ways no training manual ever could, and the F-22 pilots were about to learn that sometimes first impressions are dead wrong. The story of her flight and her shocking call sign is about to unfold, and it's nothing anyone saw coming. No one had expected her to be here at all. She had joined the squadron only a few weeks earlier, transferring from a small regional base where she'd flown transport aircraft. Rumors had circulated about her unconventional training, whispers that she had taken routes in missions nobody else had tried, but most pilots dismissed them as exaggeration. Until now, she had flown under the radar, polite, efficient, never drawing attention. Her past was a mystery, even to the squadron commander. She rarely spoke about herself, and when she did, it was in brief, factual sentences, never bragging, never complaining. Yet there was something in the way she handled the pre-flight checks, the precision in her movements, and the quiet confidence in her voice over the radio that hinted at experience far beyond her years. The squadron had trained for emergencies, practiced countless drills, but nothing could fully prepare anyone for a real system failure. At 30,000 feet, the other pilots watched her position on their radar, tension rising with every flicker of her warning signals. Something about her call sign had already set them on edge. It wasn't just a name, it carried history, legacy, and a reputation that seemed impossible for someone so new. As she fought to stabilize her plane, memories flashed across her mind, long nights and impossible maneuvers she had been forced to master. Moments that had tested her limits over and over. Those experiences had forged her, but they also held secrets she wasn't ready to reveal. Every pilot knew the sky could be merciless, and now, as clouds darkened around her, the new girl was about to face a test that would leave everyone questioning just who or what she really was. The alarms in her cockpit screamed like a chorus of warning bells, each one a reminder that failure was not an option. She gripped the controls with steady hands, her mind racing through every protocol she had drilled into herself. Around her, the other F-22 pilots formed a protective formation, keeping a careful distance but ready to react at a moment's notice. They had trained for emergencies, but nothing had prepared them for someone who moved through chaos with such calm precision. Back at the control tower, instructors and flight coordinators were shouting into radios, their voices a mix of disbelief and concern. New girls handling it. Wait, her call signed, did you hear that? The legacy in her name spread through the chatter like wildfire, raising questions about who she really was and where she had come from. Some pilots exchanged uneasy glances, recalling tales of elite aviators who had vanished from the public eye, only to resurface in critical moments. Could she really be one of them? Meanwhile, inside her own thoughts, the new girl fought another battle. Memories of past missions, some classified, some never spoken of, surfaced, each one a reminder of what was at stake. She knew every maneuver could be the difference between survival and disaster. Every flicker on her control panel seemed to taunt her, testing her nerves, testing her training. The tension extended beyond the cockpit. Rumors began circulating among the squadron who trained her, what she had flown before, and why she carried that call sign. Each pilot's curiosity mixed with fear. No one wanted to admit it, but they were witnessing something extraordinary. The sky around her grew more turbulent, clouds churning like a living entity, and every heartbeat drew her closer to a moment that could change everything. But nobody, not even her, knew exactly how it would end. The turbulence outside grew violent, shaking her plane like a leaf in a storm. Every instrument flickered and beeped in a frantic rhythm, a mechanical heartbeat warning of impending disaster. Sweat ran down her forehead, but her hands remained firm on the controls, fingers moving with practiced precision. Around her, the F-22 formation tightened, pilots calling out coordinates and maneuvers, their voices tense, almost holding their breath as they tracked her struggle. Inside the cockpit, the new girl's mind raced. She ran through emergency protocols, weighing every option in seconds. Pull up, eject, stabilize. Each choice carried consequences too heavy to ignore. She remembered lessons from her past missions, the ones no one ever spoke of, and let them guide her, each memory sharpening her instincts. Yet even with all her skill, the odds were stacked against her, and the storm seemed to sense her fear, pushing harder, testing her every nerve. The squadron commander's voice cut through the radio, steady but edged with urgency. "This is not a drill. You need to keep her alive. All units, stay in position." But the pilots could do little more than watch as their new teammate fought the impossible, her call sign echoing in their minds, a symbol of both hope and shock. Below them, the world seemed distant, almost unreal, while above, the sky threatened to swallow her whole. Every second stretched, the tension unbearable, as the plane shuddered violently once more. She was on the edge of control and chaos, and everyone listening knew that the next move could decide everything. The storm raged, the alarms screamed, and the new girl faced a choice that would define her on. Leave the F-22 to pilots questioning if anything in the skies had ever been as extraordinary as what they were witnessing just when it seemed the worst had passed. A new alarm cut through the cockpit, one she hadn't expected. Systems that should have been stable were failing in rapid succession, and a warning flashed that no pilot ever wanted to see. Her heart didn't race, her mind did. Every instinct screamed that this was bigger than a mechanical failure. Something in the storm, or perhaps something she had never been told about her assignment, was working against her. The F-22 pilots around her caught the change immediately. "She's not just fighting the weather," one radioed, his voice tight with disbelief. "She's dealing with something else. Some kind of interference." Whispers of speculation flew across the squadron, tension coiling tighter with each second. Had her plane been compromised? Was this a test? Or worse, was someone or something tracking her? Inside the cockpit, the new girl's calm exterior barely cracked. She scanned the readouts, noting anomalies that didn't make sense for any standard system failure. Her call sign, already legendary among the squadron, now seemed to carry weight beyond recognition. She thought of her past missions, of skills she had learned in secret, and realized she would have to rely on more than just training. She would have to outthink whatever force was pushing her to the brink. Meanwhile, the storm itself seemed to respond, gusts flinging her aircraft in impossible arcs, and the squadron struggled to maintain formation. Every pilot felt that the shift from danger to chaos. Questions hung in the air like static. Was this just a mechanical failure spiraling out of control? Or was something far more dangerous at play? The tension reached a new high. Every heartbeat, every radio call, every flicker of the instruments told the F-22 pilots one thing: they were witnessing something extraordinary, something that could change everything about how they understood flight, danger, and the mysterious new girl who wasn't what anyone thought she was. The plane lurched violently one last time, as if the storm itself was testing every ounce of her skill. The interference she had sensed revealed itself not a mechanical glitch, but a sudden electrical surge caused by a rare atmospheric phenomenon, amplified by the storm's intensity. The F-22 pilots called out corrections, their voices tense, but she already had a plan. With split-second timing, she adjusted her flight path, balancing the failing systems against the turbulence, guiding the aircraft as if it were an extension of her own body. Her call sign, Ghost Rider, crackled over the radio. Now, not just a symbol of reputation, but of command and control under impossible circumstances. Each maneuver was precise, each decision critical. The squadron watched in awe as she threaded the needle between chaos and survival. The plane finally stabilizing as she soared above the worst of the storm. Relief rippled through the pilots, but it was tempered by the knowledge of